Clearly, the fallout from last Thursday still continuing. What do we know? What is the latest here?
Well, as you said, you are starting to see these endorsements come out from some of the most prominent governors. You just heard them there, but you're also starting to see a little bit of concern around some of the donor base as well. And that's where a lot of the focus for the Biden administration is. I'm just going to take you through the last 24 hours of what we heard since that New York Times report. You have had, of course, an emphatic response from a White House spokesperson, Andrew Bates, speaking on Twitter, saying that if the New York Times had given them more than 7 minutes to respond, we would have told them that this is absolutely false, that the claim is absolutely false. After that, you've also heard plenty of people actually talk about reports that both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have had a meeting with the DNC platform committee. This is extremely important. I'll get to that in a moment in terms of what comes next. And via CNN, you're also hearing reports that they are considering what a scenario might be for him to pull out. Specifically, an ally out of CNN reporting that the polls are plummeting, the fundraising is drying, and the interviews are going badly. That is how they outline the worst case scenario that may prompt President Biden to take a step back. But at the moment, it looks like he's really holding steady.
Yeah, and Kriti, it's constantly developing moment after moment. I mean, is there any precedent for this? What is it that this could potentially mean if we do continue to see more and more shakeup?
Well, Jen, this is a really hard one to navigate because in history, this has only happened twice before and not in recent history, I might add. I'm going to take you through a quick history lesson here. When the incumbent president has actively chosen not to rerun for election when he is still constitutionally able to do so. The most recent example goes all the way back to the 60s when you look at Lyndon Johnson really saying that, look, my polling numbers are low, my debate performance is low as well. This was in the context of the civil rights movement and the Vietnam War. It really brought up the issue of voting participation as well, and whether or not the Democrats could actually make that vote. He pulled out. He conceded it to another party nominee instead, and ended up losing that election to Richard Nixon, who, by the way, had previously lost to his predecessor JFK as well. So there is a precedent for it, but it is a rarity when it comes to history.
Right, and especially given the times that we're in now. Kriti, we just had a full screen up about the next states to watch out for. What would you say is sort of top of mind that people need to be paying close attention to?
So there's a couple of key points that you need to keep an eye on. Remember, he hasn't necessarily chosen to drop out just yet. A lot of this is dependent on how he does in a nationally televised interview on ABC. That coming out tomorrow night on July 5th. Then it looks like they're going to be meeting with the DNC, the Democratic National Committee, their platform committee, meeting on July 11th. This is ahead of the potential virtual roll call on the 21st. The potential virtual roll call is the point in which you start to see the Democratic Party basically lock in their presumptive nominee. Now, that isn't the exact date, but that is the expected date from a lot of the media reports that we're hearing. So, Jen, I think what you need to know here is that the next key dates are going to be really crucial in terms of what the polling numbers actually look like. And I want to bring you those polling numbers very quickly. The latest New York Times Siena College poll shows Trump ahead by 49% relative to Biden's 43%. The Wall Street Journal showing a similar move as well, 48% to 42%. These are somewhere between 6 to 7 point leads, the largest President Trump has had against President Biden in this election race.